Okay, here I am. What is it? 7:14. I'm not too late. I'm showered. I'm ready for the day. I've had 5 hours sleep, so I need a nap today. And why have I only had 5 hours sleep? I don't know. It's warming up, and for us menopausal chicks, the heat isn't so great. So that's where I'm at. So what I thought I'd do is, and I'm a bit breathless. This is the asthma stuff that happens to me. I just posted a quick live reel to say I got a notification via Facebook. We're going to start showcasing your reels to others to come and follow you because you've been consistent with your reels. Now, I've had Facebook for a while, and that shows I've never seen that before. So I need to be consistent, and suddenly the Facebook world of whatever they do will open to me. So I hope you can see this. I think you can see the table. What I thought I'd show you, I'm going to take this off, this is annoying me. We'll do a little bit of slow stitching, which I hope you can see here. I'm just going to tilt you down a bit. But what I thought I'd show you first up is these little Suffolk Puffs that I've been making. And I've got a few different colours. And where are they? Because I'm super unorganised. These little guys I've been playing with. And I've even added to some of my slow stitching panels. There's one here. There's a white one. There's one there. And a few other different places. And I'm even thinking, imagine running them along the edge of a skirt or a jacket or something like that. So that's where I'm sort of thinking, okay, what can I show you guys? So last night I started watching true crime podcasts and Netflix, the first edition of the Mushroom Killer story, and then I got stuck on the Chris Dawson story, and anyway, I get caught up in all of it. I love it. I love true crime. So I'm starting to stitch these panels. I've got the two of these and thinking, should I make a bag like this, end to end, with a strap, and maybe run. I've got some nice little beads here along the edge, or maybe the pocket will sit there. So I've started building that to work out how that might look. Now, I might even make these as gifts for Christmas for everyone. My poor family, they get my crafting things sometimes, but I thought maybe this is a nice thing. Look, I'm already looking at the size difference. So here's this panel. When you do all the slow stitching, everything creeps in. So I probably should cut to size first to make sure it all fits when you open the bag at the top there. Anyway, so that's what I'm up to. So this panel I finished last night, and part of the slow stitching thing is just trust it, go with it. I absolutely hated this panel, but I loved this panel. I like the paleness, I like the simplicity. I think all the colours work really well. And this one I hated. I had some chocolates and things in there, which I didn't think were working. So what I did was start layering up bits of fabric on top to lighten it and to kind of blend, and practicing my stitches and things on top of there. And now I love this panel more. It's got a little girl there. And so I'm thinking, either you could, if I was to sell these, you'd probably only have one panel on the front and maybe a plain denim panel on the back and then the strap. Or you could have this as a pouch, to put your iPad in or your books. That could be nice too. If you were to sell them, you'd probably only do one panel because each one of these has taken so long. So anyway, I just thought for my first one, I might do something like that. And actually, because they're two different sizes now, it would make sense to put the panel on the back and cut it to size. And then, of course, I'll line them. So that's some cotton sheeting that I found. I am so in love with this. And then an incredible lady I've met from Lithgow called Janine Smith. So Janine, hi Janine. I also have an auntie, Janine Smith, and I am a Smith, born Smith. So she gave me a ton of stuff, including these, quite a lot of them. So I'm thinking if we do workshops and things, these are actually like little brooches. So I think her daughter found the little yo-yo Suffolk Puffs, whatever you want to call them. What did she call them? Pinwheels. And then they've attached all this other stuff to them. But I thought they could be a really great gift for people that come to the workshops or buy the packs. I want to show you some of the other stuff she gave me too. I'm so excited with haberdashery. Who would have known that? So this is that same sheeting I just showed you. They're a really good size, so you can work on these. I just want to show you some of the stuff she's given me. Look at that. It's so cute. This is a whole bag. She's given me tons of stuff. So we can use some of this for the workshop, or I could put these into packs for people. And I could just do YouTube and, reels like this, and we could play, and I'll show you how I work with them. This I really like. So I think someone's dyed these. I assume someone's dyed these. Look at that colour. I've got 2 of those. And of course, trim and things like that. So yes, I've said it before. Asked me 3 months ago, do I like embroidery? I'd say, oh no, that's not my thing. And now I'm having a lot of fun. I'm watching tutorials on how to do things, and I'm learning. I'm learning so much. Like, look at that. Incredible. So things like this, it might be synthetic, but if it's cotton, tea staining's a really good thing. If you're not into the stark whites, you want things to look a bit sort of aged, tea staining's quite fun. And we could probably do a reel on that. I'd have to clean my kitchen though. Anyway, that's where I'm at. So what I want to show you now was, let's make one of these Suffolk Puffs. This is my crappy craft corner, where I'm slowly learning things. And I thought, I'll introduce my world of people, and, some of you will be far better than me on this, to some of the stuff I'm learning. So what you do is you take a circle. Do you want me to cut the whole thing out? Let's do it. I've got an itchy nose now. I don't know why I'm asking you, because you can't answer. But what you do is put your cup, or any size. I found the smaller they get to these little tricky ones. These are these other ones. I'm not that dexterous, so I was getting cranky trying to pull that together. So what I do is, let's see if you can see what I'm doing. I should have a proper fabric pen. I should do all that, but it doesn't matter because you won't see all this. That's my dog barking too. He wants to come back in, and I'm just going to ignore him for now. I might have to go and get him because the other dog's inside, and they can't ever do things on their own. And that would be really annoying because I'm now into this. But it's not cold in the mountains today. It's beautiful. Hence me in my t-shirt. That's me now, my Mount Vic And Me t-shirt, navigating the shitstorm. That's how I feel 2025 is to the world. So I've cut out, I don't know if you can see the line. So now what we do is we just quickly, it doesn't need to be perfect because you're going to sew it all together. I'm going to show you quickly what I do with these scraps. I'm trying to do 0 waste or low waste. So where there really is waste and it's cotton and it's, say it's white or boring or I don't want to use it, I'm actually using it still at our fireplace to start the fires because that works really well. But this stuff here, what I do here, you can even rip it for a more sort of, I haven't done that well, a natural edge, like a bit of a vintage, oh God, I'm doing a terrible job, but like that. And then what I'm doing is, I'll find you a piece to show you. I don't know if you can see here, this is a bit of that blue here. So what I'm doing with these little, it's a bit cantho, bits of India where they roll or wrap or do this kind of stuff, like this. And then on the panel you can place it and then sew. And then what it does is start to give sort of textures and heights and things like that. So when you're looking at it, I think you can't really see sideways, but it's not a flat piece anymore of fabric like this. Suddenly you've got this, something you can feel. So it becomes a real story, something you really want to play with, hold with, be a part of things. I keep saying this, imagine this as a, chopped in half, but a cuff or a sleeve on a shirt or a collar. You could do lots of things. So where did I put my needle and thread? So we've cut this out and I do like this size. So this is an IKEA mug. Bottom is bigger, top is slightly smaller, whatever you like. I've got some cotton here. This is the only thing I prepared for you because I hate watching YouTubers when they suck on the cotton to, thread it. I think it just drives me mad. I don't know what that's called where people get really shitty with that. So what we're doing is going on slightly inside. You can see that. I'll try and do this way in front of me, near you. We're going to feed this really loosely. I'll just pull that through to show you first. So like that. We're going to go right round, really loosely. Okay. Sorry, this is a bit boring for you. This bit. It's not like, remember Todman and all those craft shows? Even when Play School makes great things out of boxes, it's all kind of half done first. So anyway, you go round and round and round. I should have had something prepared a little earlier that we're almost done. We're halfway through. Anyway, I'll finish this quickly and then I'll show you really quickly. It's quicker if I do it this way. How are you going today? I hope you're doing well. So this is me doing a live reel, being all excited because Facebook told me I'm doing a great job and they'll start showing me to other people because I'm being consistent in my reels. So I got up at 6 and thought, oh, maybe I should do one. I've got to do lots of orders today, lots of things to go out. And then my younger child is desperate to find a swimsuit. We can't find any online. There's a lot of skimpy string bikinis and things like that. She wants a tankini, but she wants it to be a little bit more sensible. So if you've got any ideas for teenage, there's lots for us women. But when you're younger, you still want it to be a bit funky. So look, it's starting to pull in. And then what we do is... so if you've got any suggestions, I should finish that conversation. So now we're pulling in. It looks like a little... money bags or Thai restaurants and things. So we're pulling in tighter and tighter. And I'll stuff this up or the cotton will break because that's the rule, isn't it? Anyway, you drag it all the way in. And we'll hang on to that so we can tie it closed. And then you kind of rearrange the bottom so it's flat. Oh, this is crappy crafting with Cara, isn't it? Maybe this isn't my forte. Anyway, that's how it goes. And then what I'll do is I've kind of bunched it nicely together and I'll try and get this needle through without destroying my fingers. My fingers are absolutely destroyed from all this. I still haven't found I've tried quite a few thimbles. I tend to take them off straight away. I don't know if it's being tactile or if it's a little bit sweaty or a little bit off. I don't like the feeling. Same with gardening. I'm trying to wear gardening gloves, but I find those as well. I end up taking off. My fingers are short and stubby, so in a lot of the gardening gloves, there's got the ends and they kind of, curl over. So I've got to get small ones. Anyway, that's the start of it, and then I'll keep working and tying that up. But that gives you a little Suffolk puff. So you could put imagine these all over the hem of a skirt. You can actually turn them the other way. You could stuff them with something so they're puffy, like a button. Anyway, that's the little first thing I wanted to show you. And then what I thought I'd show you quickly is this is some of the, what is this? Like a bedspread, like a cotton bedspread with wadding. And this is a small piece. I've put bigger pieces in the pouch pack. Where's mine to show you? I've shown you these to death. You're probably sick of seeing them all. So this is the one that I've made for myself. I got some new embroidery scissors too. I'm very thrilled, but I haven't put them in yet. We should do that, shouldn't we? What I got is a new pair of, where are they? Embroidery scissors. And I got a gathering foot. I don't know what they are. It's very messy here. A gathering foot for my sewing machine, because the dress that you saw me make the other day with all the tea towels, basically you do what you did to the Suffolk puff. You just pull and pull and pull till all the fabric gathers. And then I looked online and saw this great gathering foot, which does it for you automatically. And you can even attach the fabric on top flat. So the top of your dress is flat, then the bottom is all gathered. You can do that so it gathers the bottom and keeps the top straight. I'm dying to have a go at that. So this is me who failed in home ec. So back in our day, I'm 52, we had home ec and I didn't do well at home ec, but I didn't go on to do any other sewing. I just, as a designer, I guess with my brain, I'm thinking, oh, how would you piece that together or how does that work? So what I love about this kind of stuff is there doesn't need to be perfection. You don't have to worry about the finish, the outcome. It's about the joy of playing. So what I've done today is cut this piece out. It's smaller than this one that I've made, but the one that I've sent for you guys is bit more this size if you bought one from me. And I thought, I don't know if we can see here. We're going to put this so you can see. I've got my glass of water. I've got to have a bit of water. Do you guys drink water? I'm really bad at it. Trying to do it. So we'll finish this little guy off here. We might place him on there, hey? Got this. So my pug, Badger, is walking around. That's the toenails. Looking for scraps of food. Pugs don't have an off switch, and we struggle to get him to stop eating everything. So if we let the chooks out, people say, "Oh my God, he'll get the chooks." No, he's going for their food. He wants to eat all the chook food. Oh, I'm not going to do a good job of this. Do you know, this is like performance anxiety for me too. I'm trying to do this. I feel like I need to do this. At the same time, I'll finish up this today and go, oh my God, that's too much. So bear with me. And thank you for being here if you're here. I don't know. Will I keep doing this? I don't know. I'll just try and be consistent. So that one's done. And then, so what you do with your little panel, so this is your front, whatever you're looking at. I'm going to show you because we're upside down. Sorry. So we're going to twist around, and I'm probably back to front. But whatever way your camera's going, if it's a book kind of thing, that's how you do it. And I did bring out another little piece. What I was thinking, and did I already lose that? Looks like I did. But I cut another piece of this to put down the side, so then it would become, where is that? I've got so much stuff here. I'll show you quickly with this. So this is amazing. You can find these online. I've found a lot of this stuff on eBay. I've then seen it's on places like Shein and Temu and every other site. I don't know what's good or bad or real or not real or who you should be supporting or not supporting, because I have friends who are in jewellery and embellishment who tell me they all come from the same factories anyway. Is that true? I don't know. So what you could do, if you wanted to make this like a pocket, so we've got this guy like that, you want something on the bottom here, and we could cut here. I'll show you there. And then you close it that way. So that's, you could have your button here, or it could just be like a wallet or like a pouch for your makeup or whatever, a book of whatever. Anyway, that's what we've got. And then I've got things like vintage linen. So this is an embroidered piece. I don't know if that's too big, but I thought I'd show you quickly, roughly, how I layer up things. Which one's front and back here? It's a bird, I've just realised. Isn't that amazing? A peacock. So these are the bits of linen that I pick up. This is off that dress that you saw me wear. It's a bit of like nautical linen. This feels beautiful. And then the pieces I picked up yesterday, like this. And, oh, here we go. Oh, here's that piece. There you go. Look, I am organised. I am kind of organised. Even this, for another colourway, not for this piece. I picked this up at the Salvos, and it's got holes and things in it, but this would be really lovely. I might put that on a denim jacket, actually. It's got a bird. Anyway, so the first thing I would do is we layer up, and then we worry about stitching it all down. And what I thought, I'll just tie a knot in this, is maybe stitching one bit. Thank you if you're still hanging around. This is Crappy Craft with Cara, or Cunty Craft, what should we call it? Put this into my pin cushion. I thought another workshop or another idea that I would do is a pin cushion using fabric. This is a acrylic wool one I've had for years. So what I do is look for some florals, look for some bits and pieces. This one here has got some stitching in it, which I could still use. So you can either rip to give a soft edge, or you can cut, depending on what you like. Let's say we rip a bit of this. And we're going to start building. And this will thicken up the panel as well. And we want to leave some of the background. Like, so see these flowers here? You can, see if I've got one here. The background flowers, you can fill those with embroidery. So don't hide all of them. And of course, I can't find some of them here. So sometimes you leave, I don't know if you can see the background fabric here. That's the same as this one here. So then you just sort of use some of it and then you're going to layer up over the other stuff. So you start to plot what you want on there. Look at all these. And there's always someone that says, don't rip up the doilies. But you know what? Nobody wants these. Here's a bit of lace. This is a nice kind of creamy cotton lace, not I don't know if I can use that bit if it's too small. Anyway, and this is a bit of the tea towel that I had on that dress that I was wearing. But I don't think those colours are right. Maybe even if we pull out some of this, just the green and that kind of citrus. And this probably won't make a lot of sense to start with until I really start to build. Should we pick a rose or a flower? This is cotton. This was a bed sheet. It's beautiful cotton. It's getting a little bit thin. It would make a really good dress too. I've got a little bit more of it. But whenever I see vintage sheets or tea towels, tablecloths that are on their way out or they're not 100%, I grab them. So you can either leave the white or we can kind of, I don't know if you can see this, me cutting around it. I don't know who's still with me. Am I talking to myself? I don't know. I should have lots of, these are ones I prepared earlier. But roses are like big. And I don't know if I've got any birds handy. We'll have a look. But we can also make our own birds. Like if you think of the shape of a bird and you're just going to embroider it, you could do some crazy birds on there. The other thing I thought was little white cute envelopes like the mail with stitching around the edges and little pretend stamp. And this could be like a little pouch to hold letters and things or little sayings. So if you can see, I'm starting to, you can't quite see that sticking out there. I don't know what you can see. But this is the process of the building. So you're selecting and finding things that kind of work. What else we got here? I'm just pulling out bits and pieces to show you. This is an unfinished embroidery piece. So whoever had this first got halfway through and whatever happened in their world, they got bored, they passed away, they, moved overseas, whatever they did, it remained unfinished and then put into a bin at an op shop. And we can use it. The other thing I'm just thinking, you could, say this was I'm going to take everything off again. Say you wanted to fold this on itself. You could have this panel here, this folded panel. I don't know if you can see all this, with some sort of sleeve on top, like that. So when you fold this, it would be stitched, but it would tuck in here, like that. I don't know if you can see that. So that's something else we could do. It's just, I'm randomly placing this, but what I might do is place them near each other. So this is what I thought I'd get started with this to show you what I do with my fabric packs. Sorry, I'm just going to rearrange so you can see more of this and less of me. And then you can add the pages, which I could do as another reel, or I do think I need to do this whole YouTube thing. I'm just trying not to do it because I don't really need another thing in my life, but I feel like that's probably going to be happening. What else did I say? This one here. This has got quite a large flower. This would be nice. You could either put the whole panel in as a flat panel, or we can cut around a bit to create more texture. I'm trying to think what else I should talk to you about. So I get caught on these, like I said earlier, if you're here from the start, last night I got caught on the Mushroom Killer series on Netflix, and then was very disappointed because it was only the first one. I hate doing that. I like to binge. And then I started watching a Chris Dawson one, who was the teacher's pet murderer of his wife, Lynn Dawson. Very, very sad. And I feel sorry for that poor girl that, the 16-year-old girl he took on from the school. And I'm thrilled to see Cromer High and probably other schools are doing investigation into these teachers that took advantage of these girls. I was horrified some of the stories that came out in that series about other girls and what they'd been through from 12 years old. So that's a bit grim with crafting, isn't it? But if any of you girls are on or watching, or I feel for you. I'm thinking of you. It's horrible. So now we're starting to layer up. And I'll put some pins in. Comment will be open tomorrow, Friday. Yes, so for those of you who don't know, we're open every Friday and Saturday 10 till 3. I'm not doing additional days in the school holidays because I've got kids and they're getting older. Like mine are, what have we got? One's going into year 12 and one's going into year 9 next year. And remembering from what I was like as a teenager, that was it. Once I was gone, I was gone. So I'm trying to do everything I can with them now before they take off. Move on, go to uni or do whatever they do, or half of them don't leave anymore, do they? Because they can't afford to. So that gives you an idea. We'll start with maybe a bit of lace. Maybe one of these. What do you think of these? How do we pull those apart? There's always a comment too from people like, why do you pull them apart? If you go to any op shop, there are thousands of doilies and beautiful handmade items that nobody wants. I am thinking my next project will be this stuff. I've got enough of this to make a kind of a Cantha Indian jacket. And I'm going to layer it up. I'm going to embroider it and make it crazy. Of course, coming into summer, that's the good time to do it, Cara, when you won't actually wear it. But, yeah. So I kind of don't want to put that on now because it's going to cover up too much of this. So you start to move across. I'm going to leave these roses. So I'd probably put that kind of there. I've also got ribbons, I've got beads, I've got trim, I've got all kinds of stuff. Maybe what I should do is I won't work on this separately, I'll work on this in front of you. Maybe that's what I do. It's long and exhausting though to watch that. So some of those panels I just showed you earlier, 20 hours and some of those. I mean, financially it's not viable as a business. But it's viable for my sanity and for quiet time and for breathing space and things like that. So that's what I'm trying to encourage you and others. If you're like me and it's all a bit much, look, I'm already going into this zone. I'm feeling a bit like, whew, this is good. So that's what I'm trying to encourage people. Like, we need time out in this world. And what I'm doing here, I've gone quiet because I'm trying to work out whether if that was attached there. I'll show you what I mean. I was going to pin that. I'd cut this and do that differently. I'm already getting into this. I'm already forgetting that I'm on camera and I'm starting to go into this world of playing with this and not caring about anything else. And that's what I'm trying to encourage. I feel so sad about this post-COVID world, about what's happening in our world, more so overseas than here. We've got plenty of shit here too. So I've just pinned that. And this, to me, I go into a zone. So what I'm thinking is you'd leave this under here free, and I need to measure this properly. Let's say that somehow went into that. I haven't got that right. But you could almost have that, then that's how it closes. It slides into itself. This would be, like that. It just looks like a mess, doesn't it? Anyway, let's leave that side because we don't know what we're doing. But you could do that. Can you, and maybe not on this reel because I'll miss all the comments, but I'll then put this as an actual reel on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok. Any comments there would be so welcome. Is this worthwhile? Do you like this? Is this worth me doing? Or is this just a mess and it's horrendous and it's cunty crafting at its worst? That's what I'd like to know. Like, is this something that you want to see me do? I don't show a lot of my graphic design stuff because it's digital. People don't always have access to that. I'm trained in it, so even as I talk about it, I don't really know what I'm doing as I'm doing. It's like I go into a different zone again. So how I design things, sometimes, like when I'm designing a T-shirt, I don't go, I need a cunty and Western T-shirt today. I just start playing and it comes to me. So people say, why don't you leave every Tuesday to design T-shirts? And I think it doesn't happen that way. If it needs to be Sunday night at midnight, so be it. That's what happens. So let's have a look. And my noisy husband's just pulled up. So this, I'll see if he's going to be quiet. He would have forgotten that I told him I was doing this. So there'll be lots of banging and crashing in a minute. I think this is too big, but that's adorable too. So can you see we're starting to layer up and get things happening? So what you do is you can use all these great embroidery threads, which I should have handy and I don't. So I've got some of these ones and I've got some little lovely ones on cards and I find they're actually better quality. So lovely Janine gave me those. I feel like we should put a little bit of mirror on there. I like sparkles and mirrors. And this would be hard to sew because you've got to sew between the mirrors, otherwise your machine would have a fit. But hand stitching means you can go through everything. So we're sort of doing that. I don't know where that goes. I'll get rid of that. So yeah, I could do this week by week. I want to leave. The other thing is you've got to do a blanket stitch on the edge. So maybe I'll leave that. I was going to fold this piece over, but I think what I'll do, my husband's left, so no banging and crashing. He is partially deaf. He had a terrible accident at 19. His hearing's getting worse and worse. He was actually in a coma for 6 weeks and had to learn to walk and talk again and has some injury upstairs, which I won't say too much. That's his private moment, but sometimes he's quite noisy with that deafness. But he's a lovely man. Everyone that knows Jeff loves him. And sometimes when I get cranky with him, I have to remember that he's also a very good person. And he's been very good to me. And he took on my eldest child when she was just 13 months old. So can you see it's starting to work? So this could even be a business card holder or something like that. It ends up being, I don't know what size this is. I haven't got my, what's that? But it's little. It's little. So you could have a lot of fun with that. So the next stage, I got sidetracked. So I'll just use a little bit of this. I love to kind of base my stitches down. I feel like when it's all flapping and floating, and even with pins, I always stick my fingers. I like to base things down. And I'll show you. I don't know if you can see. This will jump. I'll show you. See these little stitches here? So I do all this other stuff later, but I kind of lock it into place. And where should we start? Even if it's going over some of this, I'll see if I can do this in front of you. Oh, and this is where it's, sometimes the knots are, at the end of my thread is not enough. So we'll just go really slowly. And I'm going into the zone. This is really weird. I'm forgetting about that I'm on a live reel. I I hope you can see this. Maybe I'll need to bring you forward a bit. Sorry for jumping around, everyone. Whoever's there. I don't even know who's there. I can see a couple who's joined, but that doesn't mean they're still here. And it gives me the chance. I can wave at people, but to go through individual and wait, you've got to click the button or something. Okay, can you see? I don't know. So I'm going to base this around the edges rather than in a straight line. If I had this completely covered, I might go back and forth basting. Is basting the right word? Come on, sewing people. I don't know if I can see this. I'll put it here. That's a really awkward place to sew for me, but it gives you the idea. I need to get one of those stands for your phone, which is directly above. If anyone's got any recommendations, I've just got one of these little cheap Kmart three-pronged things that you pull out. Oh, look, I've stuffed up. Somehow I've got that quarter gone front to back, but guess what? It doesn't matter. Oh, sorry, I'm not even in camera. Sorry. It doesn't matter because this is the underlay stitch, if you will. If you will? What am I? It's not the Dark Ages, like Victorian. Dark Ages and Victorian, they don't even go hand in hand either. So that's where we start. So all of a sudden you've got a panel that's locked down. It's stuck in the pin. Anyone got those fancy pins? I've seen them. They come up on my Instagram and they've got like a thicker head on them. Like I think they're purple or pink or something. And I don't know why they're better. My algorithm stuff tells me they're better. But all of those little recommendations for any of us, I think it's a great idea. If they really are better, I don't want just more stuff because I pick up a lot of my stuff secondhand. I also want to get some of those tulip needles. I hear they're the best. So once I start putting the embroidery threads through, the eye of your needle needs to be big, but not wide, because then it gets bulky and it gets caught and you can't push it through. I'm trying to show you. I'm going to stitch for you this way. Is that going to work? See this rhythm? This is what I'm saying. For those of you who are crafty, I know there's some amazing crafters that follow me, sewing whizzes, makers that are far better than me. They get it. What I really want to do is introduce you, like me, that we can do this. We can do this. You don't need to be all that. And I'm going to finish this off at the back. I don't know. How do you finish? I do 1, 2, 3 and loop it through. That's how I do it. With this, you want it kind of tight because it will get some little workout. Okay, so that's our first bit. Whew, I'm exhausted. What about you? So that's all we've done so far. So you can understand how long this takes. Then once this is all done and you're thinking, okay, we've got our layout to work with, right? I wish I had another panel that was half done. That's okay. We're going to keep working on this. We're good, aren't we? Honestly, check out, go get a coffee, go to the toilet, just don't watch, whatever. Come back. Can you switch back on to a live reel? I don't know if it constantly tells you if I'm around. I like this. I found a whole heap of these secondhand. White is too white because I'm trying not to do pure whites. And I think this is something you'd probably use on the colour. To me, it's like something you'd use on underwear. It's like a creamy pinky white. And I do like stitching with bright yellows, pinks, blues as well. I think basically just use whatever you've got. Just keep going. Trust the process. Keep going. It doesn't matter if it's not great. I'm tying a knot in my thread here, sorry, to the side and forgetting about you. I'm not one of those people that can do the twisty thing on the thread and get it all done. No, I'm so dysfunctional that doesn't actually work. Should I show you how I stick down the lace? And I've got this little daisy on top of it here. So all I do is kind of grab some of the lace here and there. We're going to do more on top of it, so it doesn't need to be perfect. It will kind of, it'll hide, your stitches will be hidden on this because it's kind of the same colour. If you pick something that's just, oh gosh, here we go. I haven't got this. I can see I need to have the thing filming straight down. Oh, look at that, the knot that I said I was no good at. Okay. There's the 2 bits of thread. I'm also finding my eyesight, I'm wearing multifocals now. It's getting worse and worse. So I'm taking my glasses off a lot, on and off, trying to see things. And then if I do this till midnight, I cannot see a thing. And I persist like a mad woman. So if you do buy one of these packs from me, ours are $55, and I've got, bluebirds, and I've caught some random, which is just me grabbing some together. There's a lady that wants ones that are only blues, only greens she asked for. So I've got to put together a pack for her. And then I thought I'm happy to do it this way, maybe some YouTubing. Maybe I should put this on YouTube. Of course, it's not landscape, it's portrait. That's the dilemma of doing all this filming. I need like 2 phones, don't I? I could do one going portrait and one going landscape. Or I have to ask my cousin Harry. He's very good at filming and things like that. What's the best way to do it? But I have heard just your phone is perfectly fine. You don't need all these fancy things. All those photos you see of of me in my t-shirts or whatever, I do all of it. I do ask my family to help me. They all roll their eyes. And I'm going to stick this guy on top of that. I don't know if you can see that. Too far away, I think. Anyway, we're going to keep going because why not? I don't even know if this will later load up on his Instagram. How many minutes are we in? I don't know how this works. So look, already, once it's flat on there, I just feel so much better because I can start to play, not panic that things are lifting and twisting and getting caught. Look, I've got a little bit of cotton here. Can you see that? Let's just tuck that in. Doesn't matter. We'll fix that later. The art of this is to just have fun and don't worry about perfection. Like, who needs that? There's plenty of perfect embroiderers and sewers and people out there. We don't need to worry about that. We're just going to have fun. And even if we have 500 pouches and embroidered bags and cantha coats and all this stuff, we will be like queens in our gear. Who cares? But the other thing about the pouches that I've designed, they're just simple with this, basically like what I'm doing now, a selection of things to get you started. I don't have needles and thread. I put a little bit of embroidery thread in there for you. But what I want you to do is, readjust you, is get to know your local haberdashery. So part of this world is that we're losing great shops, right? We're losing great shops. We're buying online. We're not connecting. And I want you to go, okay, Cara has not put everything I need in this pack. I need to go and find my local craft store, haberdashery store. If you're not living near anywhere, sure, do it all online. But if you go into these places, or secondhand shops, go there and ask them, what have you got in the way of needles and thread and scissors and other items, like, pick up your own pieces, let's build on it. Is you then start to get to know, and I sound like I'm being a bit rude here. I'm not saying that you're not doing it, but I want everyone to get to know their community. And there may be a local stitching group or craft group or things like that you didn't know about because you went into embroidery 5 minutes ago like Cara. But now you do, and now you're meeting people, and now you're being a part of something. So you could end up doing quilting squares with others where, you're helping people or donating your quilting skills to a quilt that goes to a patient somewhere or that kind of thing. That's what I want you to be a part of. So I'm delighting in getting to know people based on this. This is something that I don't say that I know everything about. I'm a graphic designer by trade. Everything's digital. And I am having a ball. And I feel like the happiest... Look, I'm going into this rhythm. Can you see this kind of rhythm? I'm breathing at the same time. I'm asthmatic. I'm always breathless, all that stuff. But I'm happy with this, and I go into this kind of trance, and I go into this lovely way of, you can see I'm doing the back now. There. I was going to say something and I've already forgotten. What was that about? Oh, I put up on my story this morning. There was a guy, Masters Creative, something like that it was called. And he was talking about how he thinks there will be a rise now in people wanting... So all I've done there is that little tiny bit there. So that flower's now attached underneath and just along there. But if I lift it, see? But so it takes a while. Doing all this takes a while. You could machine this stuff as well if that was your thing. I think the joy is not being fast and enjoying this. Do this in front of, TV, YouTube. Sit with others and chat. You could fix all political problems together. You could come up with ideas for your next book club. All of that. So I think we'll keep working on this. I think what I'll do is slow this down a bit. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we're slowly building this panel. This is going to be, I'm going to make the decision now. This is going to be the panel that I work on with you slowly. I might stitch a couple of these things down a little bit, unless you don't want me to. But it's otherwise we're going to be the slowest process in the world. And then things like we can do what I was saying earlier, all these little scraps. All I do is twist them, and you can sew them in like, oh, here's a bit. I've done that. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that on the lace, cotton lace, and I've got these little scraps. And I think there's one bit I used gold thread last night. And of course I can't even, oh yeah, it is there. I just can't see because you can see the gold. So it's textural. It feels really nice. It feels different to, say, here. It's using your scraps. You're using everything. And I wish I'd found this earlier. Honestly, I'm undiagnosed, but I get told all the time, ADHD brain. I agree. Yes, probably. But it's messy at the moment. I find the more I'm doing this, everything's getting messier and it looks more out of control at home. But I'm like a pig in mud because I have all this great stuff that I can play with. So I keep, walking past, picking things up, going, oh, look at that. Oh, isn't that pretty? Anyway, and this one I finished on the cruise I was on the other week. And that was a long panel. And I've just blanket stitched it closed into this little pouch and deciding, does it need some sort of buttonhole or something to close like a tab, or like my pouch here, I just attached a bit of, this is actually from this, what do you call this? See, I could blanket stitch this too. See how this is kind of rough? I don't actually mind it, but if you're giving it as a gift or something to someone else, you could finish the whole thing, this piece as well. Or you could get a bit of ribbon. So when you close it, I mean, that might be enough too. You could have it as this almost looks like an old-fashioned tobacco pouch. Not that I condone smoking, but you could wrap it so it just keeps little treasures in there. This could be things like your embroidery needles. I've got some daggy on. What's this one? So like, you could put embroidery needles and some thread and some little scissors, which I bought a new pair and I've already lost. Where are they? But that could just be enough to take with you on break with, a couple of little bits of fabric to play. You could practice here. You could take bits of remnant denim, like this is a pair of jeans that had dyed, and I've cut them into sections and just sashiko embroidered back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's the back of it. And then this can be a part of a bigger project as well. So say you wanted a lining that was interesting. So this is on the inside of my piece with everything flapping around. You could close it, and then when you open it, it has this lovely lining, so you can add extra pieces. The other thing about all of this, especially putting on jackets and bags and things, is when things pull apart or die or fray, it's not finished. This is like the never-ending artwork. You can go, okay, this needs a new section. I might add this rosebud over the hole or the problem piece, stick it on, and then, keep going. It's fun. It's so fun. So I do have some fabric panels, what do I call them? Pouches online. I've set up a section called Craft Corner. I don't think I used rude words. I think I was good about that. Craft Corner. I've just put a doll making book up. I'll get it for you. Ignore my messy kitchen, which you're just going to see very briefly. I might show you this too. I'm going to show you a couple of bits of clothing that's just gone up online, which I have to take up to the shop today to send out all these orders. So that's my messy kitchen. You can have a look at that. So this one I just put up online last night. No, I don't make dolls, but it's just beautiful. So I thought to add to my craft corner online, if you're into all of that, that's something I've put up. I just put this one online after I gave it a good wash. This is amazing. So if you go, I think under new, I put this one as well. I think this one's extra small, but check that out. And of course it's got cotton on it. That's a great cardigan. This is the added extras at the end. These are going up today. This one I haven't put online yet, but I'll just show you quickly. Let's see where it is. That's really stunning. Beaded bag. This blouse. Unfortunately, sometimes I get small things. What size is this? Size 4. I don't know. I can't remember what that means. But this is a lovely blouse. It's like a navy gingham, but look at the sleeves. So there's that one. These are all washed. Nirvana t-shirt. I think that's my kids. But not sell that. So that's where I'm up to. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm going to now share this, and in that share, I'd love to get some comments and feedback. I'll write that as a little script that goes with it. If you'd like to continue making these things with me, I should YouTube it. I should do all of that. So that's my next stage. Have a great day. So we're open Fridays and Saturday 10 till 3. If there's anything else you'd like me to show you, I will. Otherwise, I might, for the next couple of weeks, we work slowly on this. You'll see how slow it is. But if I can get my camera looking straight down, I think I could move through it a lot quicker. And anyway, that's it. My nose is itchy. I'm getting itchy. I better go and deal with that. So, see you guys. Bye.